Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to cover some of the things for the final here, and primarily I'm just going to cover rendering and then also how to submit your files. So here's my little room here. I've got a number of different objects. My bed itself here is I have to apply some new materials to it, but this is the bed I have. It's many objects, but I assigned the same material to one texture map. So it's really easy to assign materials to this. So what I did was I assigned hold right click, assign new material, and I'm going to do this over again, and then under Arnold, under shader, I did AI standard surface, and I'm going to call this bed material. Alright, so for the color, I'm going to select my little color here, the checkerboard, and then over here I'm going to go to File, and then in Image Name, I'm going to locate my file here, and I'm going to do hospital bed diffuse .tga, and you'll see that I have all of the different objects here on one texture map. So I just laid out my UVs that way. So you'll see it's starting to come in, and all I have now is just the diffuse texture map on there. Now, under specular, I'm going to click my little color here and go to File and then Image Name and Hospital Bed Spec. So it's black and white, and go ahead and click OK. And now I should have a variation in the spec, and you should be able to see it more so in the you'll see this little glimmer here in the render. And then last, I'm going to go to geometry, and I'm going to go to bump mapping and file. Okay, and in here I'm going to change use as to tangent space normals, and then my bump depth, click the little arrow here. I'm going to do my hospital bed normal, and you'll see my normal map here. And now I've got my normal map applied to it, so that should add a lot of a lot more depth to it. So now that I have it assigned to that, one thing you can do is, let me see if I've done it yet already. I've already grouped this, but if you select every object here that you have attached to something, press Ctrl G to group, and if you select an object in a group, just press up on the arrow key, it'll select the entire group. So you'll see hospital bed group, and from here I'm going to assign existing material, and I have a lot of different little materials in here, and it's bed material. Okay. Hopefully that'll do all of them at the same time. And it did. So now you see that I've got my my entire bed there with a Arnold shader on it. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select my nightstand here, and I'm going to assign new material. And I've got into a little lag with the textures on, or it's just taking a minute for it to load up. I'm going to press 5 and see if that helps a little bit. Okay. And here I'm also going to go to my Arnold shader. And AI standard surface. Okay. Oop. Okay, rename it. Nightstand material. I already have one, so I'll just call it this nightstand material. And then in here, go back to color. And this is simply setting this up for the Arnold Render. File. Under image name. Go in here to image name. And nightstand diffuse.tga. You'll see that I actually have many different objects assigned to this particular one, and I'll show you in just a moment. Got a lot of lag here. Oop. Just going back here. Okay, nightstand diffuse.tga. Open. Okay, so now I know it's loaded. I had no errors pop up, and I'm just going to stick with this, and then at the end I'm going to assign the nightstand diffuse to it. Now I'm going to go to my specular. And file. And the little image name folder. It's gotten very laggy. It could be because I'm also screen recording at the same time. Nightstand spec. Open. Okay. Now that loaded fine. And I'm going to assign the last one, which is the normal map. Under geometry. Sorry about the lag here. So we're going to go to bump mapping. And maybe if I can... No. Okay, so then I'm just going to go to click on file over here. You already know I'm clicking on file. It's just taking a minute, so try to speed up the process where I can. Then we're going to use as tangent space normals. And I'm going to click over here. And nightstand normal. Down here. Click image name. Just waiting for it to pop up. There it goes. This is nightstand. Whoop. Normal. Oh. And open. For whatever reason it didn't want to load, so let's do it one more time. Nightstand normal. Give it a second. There we go. And open. Okay, so I have all those assigned now. I can go through and do the same thing over here. I'm going to press 6 on my keyboard. Hopefully not too much lag happens, but another thing, before I do that, I'm going to do Arnold, Lights, Physical Sky, or Sky Dome Light. I'm going to do Sky Dome Light. And also, maybe if I zoom out a little bit. Okay. I have two little lights already. See if they help at all. And then Arnold lights, do physical sky. Okay. So I just want to go ahead and show you this object real quick. Press 6 on my keyboard. Okay. Extremely laggy. Going to select one of these drawers. And just show you really quickly. Okay. Okay, come on. That they actually open, and then I could always include little knickknacks like scissors or bandages or anything else. And I'll show you this one as well. A little laggy. Oops. And then you can see inside the drawer also. So I'll leave it like that for now, and then you can even see the normal map here being portrayed. Okay. Just another moment. So I'm not going to go through the process just because it's taking too long of showing you again the same exact thing, assigning the material to the what I have here is the IV stand. So I'm just going to go ahead and do Arnold, and I'm not going to move the camera at all. I'm just, and I'm not going to assign a material to the bottom, but you will. It's lagging too much for me to go through that, and I'm going to just do Arnold Render and see what happens here. Now, anything that doesn't have an Arnold material to it may not actually appear here, so render. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So I'm going to let this run through and do a quick little render. Well, as quick as it possibly can. So that's the first step of your final. Make sure you have your objects modeled. Make sure you have them textured. Make sure you have your normal and your specular maps. And then also make sure they're on the AI surface shader, the Arnold surface shaders. Then once your render is complete, they usually take a little bit of time calculating the lighting and everything. When you're done with that, take a few renders from angles that you feel are the strongest composition for your piece to display. And it looks like my material on my nightstand didn't work because I don't have an Arnold shader on it. Maybe it did. I can't really make it out. It's pretty dark. Regardless, this is the first step of your final. So make sure you have renders of your piece. Don't wait till last minute for this because rendering can bring upon issues that you won't realize are going to happen. Alright, so just waiting for that to finish. In a separate video, I'm going to include how I'd like to see your your files organized. Basically, zipping all of your materials. I don't need your Photoshop files, just the TGAs or JPEGs or whatever image file you chose to go with. TGAs hold the highest amount of information per pixel, so it's typically why I strongly recommend using TGA files, target files. And this is probably still rendering. Yeah. So this is gonna be a minute. So you get the idea. Take a few renders. It's taking longer because I'm also screen capturing. But it's gonna go through this process of rendering. And once complete, yeah, it's still going through it. I'll keep it on, I guess, for just the time being, but you could go ahead and stop watching if you like here. But it will eventually complete, and what we're gonna do after that is I will show you how to zip your folder. I'll include the render in the zipping folder because it's taking too long. But yeah, stay for the next video, and that's all I have for this one.